Hello. I'm calling Al Bob. Al. We're going to talk about Black History Month and all the cool black people he knows.
What's happening?
Hi,
Hey,
how are you?
it's, the last few days have been really beautiful, sunny, 60, 40 at night.
Oh,
Jim's
no,
supposed to
no,
snow,
no, no,
and I hope
no,
they kind of,
no.
how about you? How you doing?
I was calling you to see if we could talk about black people on Black History Month, and I can put a video up of you talking about black people, and I'm recording you, but it's not live, but I'm recording you, and I was wondering, well, I'm recording you, and I was gonna ask you about, like, how many black people have you ever met who you know, or who you know really well? I know you know many black people, and you're good friends with many black people, because it's Black History Month. Maybe you can talk about black people in a video. Have you thought about them these past few years?
Of course.
Years.
I'm still friends with them. There are, where I live is not a very black area, right? They're
No,
very few.
it's like country rednecks.
Right, but see, that's its trope in itself, because these people are not, country.
No.
They're just white
Yeah,
folk,
no. Do they have any black people who live there?
Yeah, there's two families that have lived here a long time. They've
Oh.
been here many generations.
Oh, no.
So people know them, but they don't treat them like they're black folk. They treat them like married into that family, those two families. So they don't view them as how the media portrays the black motif. People are just human beings that have a little more melanin in their skin. Me, on the other hand, I'm I'm an African American that's melanin challenged, because we're all from that part of Afro-Asia. I mean, humanity kind of started, at least the humanity that we know started there. So, the whole thing basically, John, is...
I'm recording you.
Yeah, I know. I'm just eating my oatmeal. That's my major dietary substance. I got a lot of fruit salad from a friend of mine, and so I boil the fruit salad down and then add oatmeal to it. It's pretty yummy. Anyway, there is a class of people, that 1/10 of 1%, who's at top of the pyramid, right? If you want to really understand the social and class structure, there was a comedian in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, named George Carlin. And
What about
really
black people?
I'm telling about black people. And that's what I'm telling you.
You're talking
That
about
black
George
people-
Carlin. Is
Well,
it because
he
you're in an area that's more like country rednecks? Is that why you're like the cowardly
But it
lion these
is-
days?
it is
Because at
in
one
the
time
job.
you were very
John, you're
you
not
put
even
on-
listening to what I'm
you
saying.
put on huge festivals
John,
for black people for thousands of people. You put
you know,
on huge events for thousands of people to stand up for black people.
Yeah.
African American, just regular people who have a little darker colored skin or whatever, or you want to, however you want to call it. They have a little different kind of. Some of them have light skin, but
They're still human beings, and that's what I'm trying to say, John, is that the dichotomy or separation between white and black folk is a social economic thing, meaning in the United States has been, since, Christopher Columbus came here, an extractionary culture, meaning instead of living in balance with the environment, they rip it apart and make money on it. And part of that ripping it apart and making money on it is the people. They rip the people apart and make
money on it. I mean, the United States is a
country of immigrants. And so, every time there is a group of
they
immigrants
don't rip
that
the
come
people apart.
over, sure they do. Look what's going on with the Mexican folk. They're being ripped apart.
How? Not literally.
Sure, literally. They trying to get into the country, get asylum, because they're coming from countries in Central and South America that in the 80s we destroyed with our political dynamics. I don't know if you remember the term Iran-Contra.
Like they're like James Dean, like, you're tearing me apart. Like they're
No,
stars,
not really.
they're big famous actors who are really famous and stuff. Like,
No,
like
they're not. No.
like Kanye West, who has $2 billion, or
No, they're not.
the Kardashian,
No,
some
see,
of
those
the people,
they might
family.
be- whatever
But they're
racial,
Armenian. They're not
whatever
black.
racial- Whatever
But
racial group they come
Their
from. But the
dad
Armenians-
stood up for OJ, so I think maybe black people empowered them to have all that money. And many black people have a bunch of money, are very successful. they are kind and good. I think generally they make it into heaven more than white people. I don't know if it's true or not, but I think maybe they do make it to heaven more than white
John,
people.
if you read your Bible and you read Jeremiah, who is known as the weeping prophet,
Because they've had it so difficult with the segregation in the 1970s, 60s.
well, it actually
60s,
started back in 1680 when they were brought here as slaves. That was the real segregation, is that white people slaves.
But it was God's way of kind of punishing them for having their voodoo religions and stuff when they were in Africa. They did not have Jesus, and it was a way that God could show them Jesus, and they had to become slaves and suffer for the wrong religions. They had to get Jesus, and now they really believe in Jesus, and they're really good. So they probably wouldn't have to be enslaved again because they have Jesus. You know, it wouldn't make any sense. It wouldn't make any sense.
I mean, John, all you have to do is go down to Melrose to see how enslaved they are. You know?
You mean they have less money, generally speaking? They're not the richest ones like Pete.
Back in the 60s, you know, because, do you know what Jim Crow is, John?
Now they're more poor.
John, do you know what Jim Crow is?
Statistically or something, or
John, do you know what
demographically.
Jim Crow is? You know what Jim Crow is? It was a political system that was fermented after the end of the Civil War. When the 14th Amendment gave black folk, you know, their rights to be free, they created
My dad's pretty good. He has black friends. He has these plaster guys who do the plaster work, and they're maybe 4 or 5 or 7 or 10 of them, or so, many of them, and they go in a house and they do all the plaster on an entire house, or a small, well, at least like, you know, like $800. He might send 1 or 2 guys to do a job, but they generally, you know, you give them a few $1,000s and they do all this plaster, really high quality plaster. It looks like really professional. They didn't do it at my house, but he's friends with the guy who owns the company, and he's friends with many other black people. Like, he's friends with this guy who owned a car place, and hopefully his body's okay in his old age, because he's getting older too. This man who was in Salem, and he was like,
John, how are you gonna turn this into a video? Because every time I try to, you ask me to do one thing, to talk about black folk and the socioeconomic. Okay, that's cool. But the bottom line is, no one wants to hear the real story. The real story is that everyone in America is a slave. Except even the rich people are slaves. Your dad is a slave.
No.
Your dad doesn't look very
The Bible,
happy.
I read the Bible, and it says God doesn't want us to be slaves anymore.
Well, then we're doing a good job of not listening to God, because
Jesus
I'm out in
saved
the middle
us.
of nowhere. I have no money, and I am as free as anyone. I know I am not connected to the need to, like, oh, how am I going to pay my bills? Well, how I pay my bills is I don't have any, because I don't buy anything. I don't spend any money because I don't have any money to spend.
Well, I think I have more money than I thought. I think I have way more money than I thought.
John, your father, you are the son of a wealthy man, and he's going to die relatively soon.
I may be wealthy.
And your mother is on the way out too. And so you are going
they're
to
not going to die. They'll die one day probably, unless
Everyone dies, John. Everyone dies.
Well, if the end of the world happens. Well, the end of the world's going to happen. Well,
the end of the world will happen when the sun goes supernova in about 6 billion years. But this planet ain't going nowhere. You know? And, you know, I was in a position in the 70s,
we're not man.
and the early O's, where I was basically able to see by my job.
If I was a big jock on the sports team, if I was a big football player on the sports team who yelled at people and stuff, I'd just make friends with them anyway and act like, oh, I'm nice, and make friends with them. I try to get, but I'm not one of those like big football hero people who like, who you thought no. But I may have money, but I don't know why. I think my dad, I don't know why, but on paper I can't see how that I have so much money, but I think I do. But I don't know. I mean, like on paper, when I try to figure out, like, you know, when we try to find out, like, how are we going to pay, or I don't know.
I mean, I don't worry about my bills because I don't have any, because I don't spend money I don't have.
You know, I
don't have a car right now. You know, I live in a little box in the middle of the woods. And I don't have to impress anyone. The birds and the rabbits, they don't need to be impressed. And the rich people who have come and tried to buy up, well, they did buy up everything, but they have basically, I don't know, they're having a hard time because...
no, I don't
What do you
know.
think of Valentine's Day? Wednesday. What do you think about Wednesday? Last Wednesday. What do you think about what happened in Kansas City?
Kansas. Oh, the sports?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was pretty good. I don't know why. I complained about football a little bit to Danica, but I think it's okay. It's the sports. I didn't get to see. I watched. I don't know. I found out that Kansas won. I think the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they did.
Ugh.
But on Wednesday, Valentine's Day, the whole city, 1 million people came out to celebrate Kansas City winning, and there was a mass shooting at that event.
Oh,
Number
that's
2
terrible.
died, a lot of people got hurt. A lot of children, about 11 children, they wounded.
No.
Yeah.
No. Hey.
Yep.
Hey.
Little kids like Baby Ayla.
Oh.
So how are you going to turn this into a video? A real interesting video, if you could make it, is to show you being the best person you can be. I mean, that isn't lifting weights or how you're listed on what is that thing that talks about people in the movies? I whatever that is.
I wonder how amazing it'll be in heaven. Well, with God and Jesus, but you're not supposed to hope for an it. At least I don't have. At least I didn't get gay on my own butt.
Yeah.
Spent my entire life trying to make sure I didn't do anything on my wrong, anything bad, and kind and good.
God is here now. We don't
But
have to wait to go to heaven.
I imagine being with a woman who is my wife. Who is my wife. Maybe I can get to be with her one day. Like in married, but maybe just get to be a family at home. We're already a family.
When's the last you heard from?
But your wife died, and she's probably already made it to heaven, so I think that's good. God wanted to take her at that time, I think.
John, bottom line
I don't know.
God wants us to have a life.
God
right?
judges us. I don't know what people know, but I would think that she made it to heaven because you cried about her. So I could see tears coming down your eyes like 20-something years after she died, or something like that. 20-something years after she died.
If I go into that moment, yes,
No.
I get very verklempt. But
No.
see, the thing is, John, her love is still real and in my heart. Like I have a new little girlfriend around here, and she's a very nice woman. She's in her 30s, and she owns a restaurant, and she likes me, and so
I'm a man.
she comes and gets me, and we go do fun things, and so I'm not looking to get married. She's not looking to get married, but she likes my company, and so I enjoy that.
No. Yeah, how you doing? This is Al. Yeah, how's it going there? So, yeah. Hey, so... anyway, I dyed my sideburns. I got black sideburns like the Fonz. I dyed my hair like the Fonz. And, I dyed my hair like the Fonz, and it's black, and I got black hair now, just like, hey, get on this chopper, baby. Yeah, we're riding till out there. Yeah, I got a chopper this time. Yeah, it drives pretty good on the back roads. Hey, so, this is Fonz Al, and I dye my hair black, and it kind of have enough on the top where it comes down in front of my face, like Fonz. And, and it's in heaven, and we get to be that way one day with God and Jesus, but on earth, and with God and Jesus. The God and Jesus. And, anyway, we can pretend right now. And if Al wants to, he could dye his hair black and have big black sideburns like the Dice Man when he was young. And then he can, and then he has a big motorcycle, a chopper, baby. And he says, "Come on." Hey, I tell you what, I don't want the Trump hair right now, but I may make it blonde like Trump if you like. And it's Al Bob on the bike. Come on, hey, I got my cool black hair with these black
John,
sideburns.
that's not me, buddy.
The skinny Al.
I'm a old guy with a white beard and white hair. And when spring comes, I'm gonna chop all my hair up and have a real close cut. And that's kind of what I do. I cut my hair once a year. And my new girlfriend, she likes to trim my beard.
Why did God make me say it?
How is this going to be? how's this going to be? Well, folks, see, this is what America is. Right here.
Hey, somehow God made me yell that out. I don't know why. I die of faint. That means that, not literally a gay person, but, that means that somehow I may have to leave to go to Los Angeles or something like that, or I don't
You
know.
already did
Or
that.
do
You were in Los
stuff.
Angeles for 2 months. And what did that do for you? Nothing. You didn't do anything.
I made
with
100 videos or 80 videos. I made a bunch of videos. I preached the gospel of God and Jesus to all these people walking around Los Angeles, and
Yeah? You still there, Slim?
I don't know. Oh, one time I had to feel like I got cancer, and I accepted it, and I thought I got cancer, and then not suddenly, but as soon as I accepted and said, I have cancer, I'm going to die, and it kept bothering me for a few days, and the sun came out, and it was beautiful, like God's sun, and it got really warm, and I think it healed my body right as soon as I got cancer. Because there were many days where I had to try to fight off and say I didn't have it, and for some reason I was supposed to accept that I got cancer, and I thought I was gonna die from it, and I had to accept that I got cancer, and then like the warm sun came, God's sunlight warmed everything up, and it was beautiful, and all of a sudden I was at peace, and I wasn't at unrest like I'd been at constant unrest for many days. And I gave up, and I finally said I have cancer, I'm gonna die, and I got really sad, and then like the sun came out. And it was like God and Jesus were there and healed me right then. I felt sick. I had felt like sick the whole time for a few days, a few days or so. Like my throat hurt, and it was last year, but this year I haven't felt sick at all. And it went away right as soon as I said I have cancer. I'm going to die from it, and then it went away. That was pretty good. That was really good. And then I felt okay and at peace. God let me be at peace instead of trying to hang on to like, oh, I'm not gonna die, or something like that. But sometimes we have to say we're not gonna die, I'm not gonna die. I gotta keep living because I have to live, and that's the best we can do. And those 3 days may be like easier and be for like, I don't know.
Everything is a lesson within the construct of God's unconditional love. We do not know anything. We have no real control of our own lives. This is basically, our life is basically an avatar for our spirit, right? And our spirit is given the opportunity to experience, right, the world of the delusion. So we can freely embrace God. When's the last you spoke to your mother?
You don't want to end up in hell.
It's a relative thing. I mean, most people are experiencing hell right here.
You don't want to end up in hell.
A lot of people are experiencing hell right here. If you're living in the Gaza Strip, you're experiencing hell. If you are in Darfur, in Africa, you're experiencing hell. If you're in the Ukraine, you are experiencing hell.
You're on U.S. soil.
And there are a lot of people in every country who's experiencing hell by their life experience. Meaning, people who are addicted to drugs. I work with a lot of people who are addicted to everything.
Might as well face it, you're addicted to love.
Well, the thing is, love
Might as well face it, you're addicted to love. Ding, 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 ding. Might as well face it, you're addicted to love.
Who wrote that song? What band was that? When's the last time you spoke to Danica? And how are the boys? When's the last time you spoke to your boys?
Quit. Put on your bright orange reflective gear to reflect it on someone, and put on your camo. Quit. You don't do any of that. I don't do any of it. I don't. I'm black. I'm black, y'all. That's why I put on my gear. I went down to most southern country land there was, and I was the blackest one, and they still are like, yeah, black people, we remember how it was. They're nice to them and everything. They're not they are not looked down on anywhere. You got along with them, everyone gets along with them, everyone's okay. Yes, we used to be around them for hundreds of years, so yeah, you know, the black person, it's pretty normal. That's why black people like to stay in the South, and they're like, yeah, everyone's okay, there's nothing wrong. And big dumb stupid man comes there, what are you gonna do? My daddy said he big dumb stupid man said my daddy don't.
So how your kids doing, John?
Hey, we got cannolis here. We got cannolis there. You put it in your mouth. Yeah. Those guys like black ladies. They like them. Cause they want to bring through the family and friends. They say they like black ladies. They like black ladies. But they don't be naked. Unless it's their wife, like the guy who married one the other night. And the one who's in England, he's 270 pounds. 260 pounds. I don't know if he'll make it. He used to be 400. 80. 500. He's married to a young black woman. I hope he lives. He's in England. He talks like this. Dance around. He has I'm talking to a computer, pretend to be blind. Don't ever do it to a black lady, because then your family will be destroyed. If you was married to one on their mouth, that's what you don't do. See? See? Unless you're married to one who happens to be white, black, I don't know.
So how your kids doing, John? When's the last time you saw your boys?
They're good, it's good. Sometimes get, I
Instead
talked
of going to California, why don't you go to Texas and live with your kids?
Well, Danica has to let me in the house and say, okay.
No, she doesn't. You can go there, and you can get yourself a nice little Airbnb, like you did in California, and spend 2 months there. They can come visit you in the Airbnb.
Maybe. But she said not to go there right now. I don't know why.
They could come, they're old enough to come stay with you in the school. I mean, that school would be great for them. They could have a great time. And you could homeschool them. In America, you can homeschool your kids without having to file any paperwork or anything. They could just come there and that you could homeschool them. You could teach them all kinds of great stuff. Music, art.
No.
Then they could take their GED. I mean, your oldest boy, he's 16, right? Is your oldest boy 16? Hey, handsome.
Hi. There's this big, really strong guy who weighs like, I don't know what. And then he, I don't know. I don't watch those people usually. I'm going to look up Owl Bob on Google. No. I'll just better stick. Okay, Owl Bob. Owl Bob? Shows owls, but where? Oh, these are the pictures. Good. Well, I don't know. There's a movie called Owl Bob. And not to drink over. Not to drink on the ground. Okay, I looked up Al Bob. Here's you. You show up on the first... You show up on the first page of the videos for Al Bob on Google. The first page for video is pretty good because we haven't filmed any new... Oh, this will be another Al Bob video. Hello? Are you okay? I looked up Al Bob on the computer, and it says quick, funny video of Al Bob, and it has you in these cool clothes, and, it has you in cool clothes, and it's a joke video. It's a funny video, and, that's on the first, that's on the first page of the, that's on the, oh, the very top search result. The second one from the top. And I don't have any of the history of search saved. I just did, this is like as if I'm going to a computer at the library or something. And, because there's no search history, I don't know. And then, it says Al's back. Al Bob is back. That's almost the #1 search result. It's the second search result on Google when you look up Al Bob. That's amazing. When you look up Al Bob on Google and go to videos, when you go to videos, at the top when it says you can go to all, or pictures, images, or videos, and when you click on videos, looking up Al Bob on Google, you're right at the top, pretty much. The second one, not the first search result. The first search result is something about like owls bobbing their heads in the woods. The second one is Al's back. Al Bob is back. Owl Bob. I looked it up on the Google search. Google search, they don't care. They're good. Hello? Shit! Got down the water slide, please. No. You're going through it. You don't do no shit. Is this what you want your kids to be? Man, you don't want to get the wrong one. You don't want to fornicate, or this could be your son. But, or this could be your son. Hi. Hey, it's me. Hee yay, I run around, jump on me, I roll around, I can do all these types of things. Yay, daddy, yay. Yay, ears good. That's what he'd say, not my kids. You're not, I wouldn't go to you and do that. You're not my son, you're not my kid. You're not my dad. I don't know why I do that to my dad. He's too much like a man, but sometimes he's like a baby. Sometimes my dad's like a baby. You were the first person who was a man who I thought was like a big baby. Maybe I'm like a baby. But I don't. Make feces and do the crap. Don't let it go down the devil's hole to hell. Praise Jesus. Praise Jesus. God and Jesus. God and Jesus. African Americans. I bet they're gonna be smiling and acting like they're oh no. Like, hey, no, they're not at all. Okay, that's good. Why do they call them African Americans? They're just regular Americans. They're not even African Americans. They're Americans. I'm sorry. I just thought that they'd be like, hey, we're all American or something like the big football heroes or something. I don't know. Because these two guys were like that. They're like the super achievers in our town. They were from like a wealthy elite family or something. But where would you live if you were black? Would you live at your house? What if you married a black woman? Hello, Al? Are you okay? Al. If you married a black woman, would you stay at your house? You'd have to keep it warm if it was a... Hello? Tutankhamun. Hello? Yeah, wipe the screen lens off. Hello? No! 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 I gotta get out of here. Get old stupid ass. Good, nice guy. Here's a young person, but he's 20s. I don't know if you'd have any big kids. If you get married, make sure they're little kids. Your wife has little kids before you just have like after like I don't know. It'd be weird if they had these big, athletic big people. Unless I don't know. They say they fined Trump $300-something million and tried to bring him down from a billionaire to just a millionaire. I think it's all part of his business he does and thinks it's stupid anyway, and he'll go right back to saying, you know, he really has $3 million or $3 billion or, you know, however much people think he has. I don't know, 3 billion or 7 billion or 8 billion. Why would he worry? I thought he's always had those ups and downs until he became a billionaire. Oh, he only has 800 million now. I don't know. Or a few billion. They just said that he estimated that he has less money than he does or something. I don't know. Well, I'm gonna go. Al. Hello? 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 I'm gonna go! Ow! It's getting cold. Bye. Turn the heat on or something. Okay, bye. Praise God. Praise Jesus. Bye. Happy Black African American History Month. Okay, bye.